What community radio represents is an opportunity for people to speak, to share, to educate, to inform, all those critical things in an area where they're from.
I'm introduced as God.
Energetic, poetic and athletic. You know I get down and dirty when it's time to set it. I'm tearing through, clean your scene like ammonia. I drown ya, flood four corners, the perimeter. I wonder, cause earthquakes, bolts and lightning. You couldn't test the one and only Mike Titan.
It's just a way to be more connected. Yet again, it's just getting people together and educating each other.
Check 1, 2. I hit the atmosphere. Give MCs visions of comets. Technique hit by force the earth. I hit and
KRUU radio is sort of a grassroots community culture. It's very much for this town, about this town, by this town.
Together more iller than MacGyver. I never tire. Spirit live like a wire. I came to let you know.
It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. When you're in a community, you do things together, and this makes a community.
Yeah, I whirlwind through cities, influential, scientifical power. My mental violence will shower, devour at a crazy rate.
KRUU grew from a project that I was involved with called the Beatbox, which was a youth center here in Fairfield, Iowa. And it ran from 1999 to about 2003, middle of 2003. And during that time, we had applied for and received the license for KRUU, for the low power FM station. And then in 2003, the youth center went out of business and closed down. My experience growing up was that there was a whole lot of things that my friends were interested in, music and electronic music, and then later on breakdancing and graffiti and stuff like that, that I felt was extremely positive, very artistic, very active. It seemed like pretty much the only positive thing that young people in the community that I was living in were choosing to do on their own was being somehow not supported by community organizations.
We'd also like to create a small radio station to host the DJs that come down.
So spring of 2006, we got together with a couple other people and who were interested in looking at a media project. It was a little bit more kind of open, and one of the options was the radio station. So we had until October 1st, was it? Yeah. So the end of September, October 1st, to be on the air, and we had some computer equipment, some audio equipment in this building, and it was not, it didn't look like this. It was more open and just had been sitting for a couple of years, and so we had a mad rush of activity in the building and organizationally and getting systems up and operational, and we got on the air September 30th. Yeah. The day before we needed to be on the air, and we've been on 24/7 since.
In the 7 years we've been going, there have been about 300 people who have been connected doing shows. We have about maybe a quarter of the people that have been doing shows for 7 years. So when you realize it's a town of about 10,000, 300 people actually being involved at the station, 3% is a huge number. We've had well over 150,000 volunteer hours into the station.
My name's Amare, and I've been volunteering here at KRUU for about a month now, and I'm basically getting to know the station, what a solar-powered radio actually means, how everything works.
Very simply, on an equipment level, low power is a class of FCC license that restricts the operating output for a station to quite a low level. There's a couple different classes, but our class is restricted to 100 watts. And so usually a low power station would reach about 10 to 15 miles from the antenna location. And for us, the antenna location is right outside here, which we put up on July 4th, 2006. Instead of having to maintain or pay for 25,000 watts, we have to pay for 100 watts. It's a light bulb. It also means that when we start looking at things that we can do on a sustainable level, that something like solar becomes much more interesting for us.
What I love about the solar panels and the photovoltaics, which makes KRUU one of maybe 14 or 15 stations in the country that are solar powered, is the fact that it was the community that did it for the community station.
It gives me more exposure to the community too, with people coming to the studio and meeting new people.
Okay then, here we go. My name is Donald Rebolensky, and I have a show called What the Bleeps Radio on KRUU Radio LP 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa, and beyond. Because there's so much diversity in the culture and in the interests, ranging from, cooking to electronic music to reggae to talk shows to movie reviews, news stories, and there's even radio teleplays I know that go on KRUU. It's like everything that happens on the radio in some form or another also happens on KRUU Radio.
Our mission is simple: giving voice to the community, encouraging creativity, dialogue, and community involvement. That's a simple mission, but we mean it. When you get a station like this, you can be Christian, you can be Satan, you can be, communist, you can be right wing, left wing, you can be no wings, you can do whatever you want. And our board said, let's be who we are. Let's be agenda free, and let's have the station speak for itself by who shows up.
My show on KRUU is Great Taste, and it's a weekly show, 1 hour. And we do it in front of a live audience at our local grocery store in the room that they have. It's called the Club Room, but it has a full kitchen. And basically our show is about cooking. It's about cooking, it's about food, it's about eating, it's about the family, it's about everything that involves the plate. If you want to have a voice in your community, you can do that in community radio, and that's terrific. And so the opportunity for any community radio station is to inform the public about everything, all aspects of what's going on within the community, and provide a creative outlet for just different facets of the community. So it's terrific, and KRUU does that in an amazing manner because almost all of its programming is locally produced. And it's produced by, as we've talked about, a diverse group of people who have many different interests.
My name is Dominic Rabelais, and I do Tea Time Camaraderie. There's a lot of people who are super creative and super driven that all want to do things together. So if you have an idea, you can make that idea a reality because all of your best friends all also have ideas that come to you whenever they want to make their ideas a reality. So, and everyone just works together to make amazing things.
My name is Heather Miller Rodriguez. Here at KRUU, I go by DJ Hum. Good morning, Fairfield. You're listening to KRUU LP 100.1 FM. We're open source, listener supported, grassroots, and solar powered community radio, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa, and beyond. My show is Lyrical Venus, which focuses on female singer-songwriters from across the decades around the globe, all styles, all genres. One thing that is super cool about KRUU is that it does allow a voice and a connection. I think it's a two-way connection. It depends on the show and on the host, but if anyone has a passion, they can have it on the radio.
Having a show on KRUU Radio is a great way for me to express myself creatively. Finding that kind of music where it sort of expands people's boundaries of of their taste and what they like and what they think is possible and what's danceable, what's interesting, is so important and so crucial, I think, to really evolving as a culture in this world, that it's wonderful that I can just play my part in it, and that's my outlet. It's KRUU Radio LP 100.1 FM. We are the grassroots and solar-powered voice of Fairfield, Iowa and beyond. And for the next hour, we'll be bringing you guys some of the hottest new electronic music.
One of the roles that the radio station, that KRUU fills for people, is that it's a way to stay involved or to get involved with the Fairfield community. With some of our talk shows and things, I listen to shows or I listen to content that I wouldn't normally listen to. And for me, that's something that supports our position that there's a reason to listen to community radio that's not just the content. It's because it's your own community. You're interested in what your own community is listening to. You're interested in what your own community is thinking.
My name is Dennis Ramundi and my show is Speaking Freely. I try to find interesting people from all walks of life, from politics, from nonprofits, from academics, from the entertainment world, and ask them questions and let them talk. Probably 90% of it is produced right here. So we're very proud of that. I don't know of any other station doing so much original programming. It's some really fabulous shows, some very intelligent stuff, very creative stuff is being done. It's generated from the community. It also brings the community together, gives the community a focus. I hear a lot of folks here talking about the programming, discussing it with one another, looking forward to listening to it. We don't want our news, we don't want our radio, we don't want our media, our TV to become like McDonald's, you know. Every city you go, it's the same thing, it's the same menu, the same songs, the same. Come on, let's do something different. Let's experience something different in Maine than we do in New Hampshire, than we do in Louisiana, than we do in Iowa or California. It should also be regional stuff. It feeds the culture, and it makes the culture multidimensional. You're listening to KRUU LP 100.1 FM, the voice of Fairfield, Iowa, the Midwest's only solar-powered radio station.
I think that actually radio is poised for a dramatic comeback, because I see that people do become, at some point, a lot of people become, you know, there's got to be something else, you know, rather than playing with this screen.
I think that commercial radio is in a state of crisis because they're becoming not relevant. The people of the world are demanding a little bit more control over their own lives these days, and a little bit more say in their own communities and the things that affect them. And there has to be vehicles there to help those processes take place, otherwise they'll fall over, they simply won't work. And so that's where I see KRUU on a larger level. I see KRUU as something that is enabling the community, the people of this community, to change things.
It's just amazing the opportunities that do exist from a microcosm like KRUU, a community center that can touch anywhere, and the possibilities are virtually endless. It gives me hope that people not only can discuss among themselves, bring things to the table, inform, learn, but they can do great things that we can't even imagine now, by just simply having the power to speak their mind, to give voice to themselves and their community. And from there, the sky, even the sky, isn't the limit.
This is Diana Flynn, and I'm part of the KRUU.
My name is Ty Huggins, and I'm part of the KRUU.
My name is Donald Grabowski, and I'm a part of the KRUU.
My name is Dominic Rabelais, and I'm part of the KRUU.
I'm Amare, and I'm part of the KRUU.
I'm Rich Sims, and I'm part of the KRUU.
My name is Heather Miller Rodriguez, and I'm a part of the KRUU.
My name is Roland Wells, and I am part of the KRUU.
My name is James Moore, and I'm part of the KRUU.
Christmas Day when your mama got your first bite. Type of feeling when you went and won your first fight. How your team felt winning championship games. Celebrate in a huddle, dancing in this rain. Have a thought, see a shooting star across your screen. Put in hard work, finally you're living your dream. Deaf man get his hearing now, income vibes. Blind man gaining sight, see his first sunrise. Dumb man speaking out, now he's loud and clear. Birthday, your child smile so proud you wear.